Grand Rising. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday edition of the Female Solution Global Broadcast. I'm Naomi Latif, your host for today. And this week, today, we continue to take a look back at the legacy left by the Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson as he is celebrated across the nation, across the world, for the work that he has done. Today, we want to take a special look at the work done by Push for Excellence, the arm of the Rainbow Push Coalition that focuses on students and their development into excellent human beings who are ready to take their place in society as professionals, as people who are ready to make a difference in this world using their talents and skills. The Push Excel program sponsored students going across the nation to visit historically Black colleges and universities so they could see the options available for higher education. It was a way to introduce them to the history, not only of these colleges, but in the cities and states in which they were developed. There is a rich history in these colleges, and students were able to expand their minds as they traveled across the country. So today, we're going to share a bit of the interview that Reverend Jackson conducted with HBCU tour students and how they talked about their vision for the future. Now, this show on WVON was recorded on Thanksgiving Day in the year 2010. So 16 years ago, 15 years ago, a little more than 15 years ago, these students had the opportunity to express their experiences, their aspirations, and their vision. And these students have achieved many of their goals that they expressed with Reverend Jackson. But today, we're going to take a look back and see how his work inspired them. We'll be right back after we greet you, our audience. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution.
Yes, this is the Female Solution. And we had an opportunity as part of the Push Excel supervising crew that went on this tour to experience it with them, part of the video crew as we later continued to chronicle their travels, and part of those supporting the Rainbow Push in their efforts to transform lives. So now let's take a look back at that very momentous, insightful interview that Reverend Jesse Jackson conducted with the students who had attended the tour. And as he speaks to them, that Thanksgiving Day in 2010, he not only reminds them of their responsibilities to those coming after them, but also the work that they were going to do later that day to help feed the less fortunate. Such an inspiration, and so many have followed through with their career pursuits and have made a difference. So let's take a look at Reverend Jesse Jackson at WVON with students who attended the Push Excel HBCU tour. All right. Well, we're going to right now, we're going to uh, give you a chance to, after this interview, call in with your reflections as we continue to experience the legacy of Reverend Jesse L. Jackson. Yes.
It's about the children who are not our future. Our children are our right now. We love them right now. We must provide for them right now. We must educate them right now. They must register and vote right now. They must dream right now. They must aspire right now. They must not self-destruct, not self-degrade right now. So they're not just our future. They are our right now. When they go to jail, they break our hearts right now. They go to college, they make us feel good about our investment in them right now. We have today in the studio here at WVON 69 a group of students and Dr. Bonita Carr has been directing our Push Excel program for some years now.
Yes, I had an article in the Chicago Defender last Wednesday, and it specifically spoke about what about the children. And the purpose of that particular article was to highlight what is happening currently in Chicago Public Schools. For the past 6 months, Chicago Public Schools has been absent without a chief education officer. Right now, Mayor Daley just appointed another non-educator as the CEO, and I highlighted why a chief education officer is significant. 40% of Chicago's elementary students fall below state standards, state for the Illinois Standards Achievement Test, while 69% of our students are below the state standards for the Prairie State Achievement Examination. Even more disturbing, these students are falling drastically behind on the National Assessment of Educational Progress. And so what that means is that when our Chicago Public School students graduate and go on to four-year institutions, only 6% of those students graduate.
And you know, but the other side of this equation is that, as Dr. Benny Mays would say, former president of Morehouse, if you're behind, run faster.
That's right.
Get up earlier and be more determined. We have a group of students here today. We have Julian Cook. Julian?
Here.
Julian, where are you in school?
I'm at Houghton College, about 60 miles outside of Buffalo, New York. I'm a sophomore there studying music and Bible and double major.
Well, what high school are you in?
Here I was at Jones College Prep.
Jones College Prep. Jasmine Winston. Jasmine?
Yes. I go to school at University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. I'm a junior in civil engineering, and I went to high school in North Park.
Go ahead.
And last we have
This is Zakiya the thief.
Yes, hello, my name is Zakiya, and I'm a senior at Loyola University Chicago studying anthropology, and I went to King College Prep as well.
We'll come back and talk a bit about what's happening to you at school. Got one more voice.
Hello everyone, my name is Sierra Wallace. I'm a graduating senior at Howard University and I attended Whitney M. Young Magnet High School.
Whitney M. Young. By the way, today we're going to serve some people hot meals at Rainbow Bush at 10:30 to 1. And students are going to help us serve it. Because a part of our mission is not just to get a degree, but a degree in service, a degree in helping somebody, a degree in caring. You have to lift as you climb. Be blessed of us must help the rest of us. How many of us student loan debt? What's your student loan debt? Quick, let's
30,000.
yours,
It's about somewhere around 30,000.
30,000,
I would say maybe 15,000.
15,000.
Mine's about 20,000.
What is amazing is that many of you graduate with a guaranteed debt, not a guaranteed job. So we are fighting real hard to have a path with the student loan debt forgiveness. Because many youth graduate from college, have a degree, and then have to come back home and stay with their parents because they have no job and no place to go. And we want them. And that becomes a disincentive for you going to school in the first place. We want to remove that, but we need your mass action. And tell me a little about the impact of we have given away each year at Rainbow Push over 100 scholarships. And you're a scholarship receiver. Tell me about the impact of scholarship on you. What does that do?
I'm Ashley Nelson again. For me, the scholarship has provided opportunity. I've received a scholarship, various different amounts since 2006. And whether or not it helped me supplement for tuition costs, book costs, it helped me and was able to reduce the amount of loans that I did take out.
Well, I guess for me, the scholarship definitely did help me to supplement, like you said, those book costs. That Loyola books are very expensive, and a lot of the time you buy books one year and then they get a new edition, and so you're not able to sell those books back, and so the cost every year rises. And so the scholarship definitely helped me with those book costs and other tuition fees as well.
We give over 100 Push to Excel scholarships a year. I give them at King Breakfast. This year, January 17th, right?
Yes.
This year, the King Breakfast, January 17th. And then at the convention time in June, because we are convinced that is a huge deal for us. I see so many of you have such talent that just can't afford to go. And so kind of give me a sense of what's happening on your campus.
Howard University is one of the institutions where the students really do take action in regards of what's going on. Like if it's something we don't agree with, something we disagree with, like our Howard University Student Association, our Undergraduate Student Assembly, various organizations on campus, especially the Ladies of Alpha Chapter, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, we make sure that as students we have a voice. And we reach out to the administration. We hold protests and rallies, and we discuss and take an active interest in regards to the legislation and things that are being passed at our universities regarding us. And we make sure that the students on campus are aware of what's going on at the university.
What's the number one issue on your campuses today?
Okay, the number one issue on Howard University's campus is our P card, and basically we're having a situation in regards to the president, and he's trying to decide if certain programs and majors and things of that sort are beneficial to the university economically. And he's reaching out to the students to get, I guess, input and feedback from us in regards to what we feel is most important, because they're in the process of making major changes in regards to like the majors and things we have at Howard University, because they're trying to make it more research based now.
Are you issues like is the WVON issue on your campus, the WVON?
Yes, actually, some organizations are like holding programs discussing like the issues at war. One organization is having a program in regards to Soldier's Heart, and basically there are women soldiers. They aren't getting like their basic necessities, like things that women have in regards to like tampons, things like that. Is not accessible to the women soldiers. So what we're trying to do is like just collect things from the students on campus and like raise awareness so we can send these type of things to the women.
You know what happened many years ago when there was a draft. Students on college campuses would be drafted, sometimes injured or killed, and therefore it made it a right now issue. Right now, since you don't have to draft, often those who go to college defer military and simply are detached from the war. But on your campus, is there any sense of the war issue, because it's a big deal?
Last year, there was a much bigger sense of that. Last year, Dr. Stanley Hauerwas, who's a theologian, as you know, came to our campus to speak on the humanity of war, also dealing with the Christian aspect of war, whether war is a very Christian ideal at all. And because I'm at a Christian college, a Christian liberal arts college, we had quite a bit of discussion about whether or not Christians should be pacifists or whether Christians should condone war in any front.
It's interesting, one of the youth talking to Bob Herbert, and I cannot get this out of my consciousness. He said, I am a Christian and I'm a patriot, and I went to the war and I killed 3 people. Can I go to heaven? he was in real conflict about the war. And many of them, because they could not resolve these conflicts, come back home very disturbed. Half of the men, veterans, men homeless are veterans because they come back home in such desperate conditions. Many of them, I might add, college. A couple of the first prisoners of war were Miss Johnson, were college young people who could make it. Then there's the issue, of course, and we can take a break about the impact on youth colleges of home foreclosures and the economy. Because if you leave the insulated environment of college and come back and don't find a job, then that's an issue. Is that an issue on your campus?
Home foreclosures?
My campus, not in particular. I think it will be a bigger issue as the cost of our school rises. It will probably become a bigger issue.
And it is rising.
Yes.
We're going to take a break now and come back and talk a bit more about what's happening on your campus. We want to get a feel for it. What issues are like grabbing you? Because there must be something happening on your campuses, because we know that the impact of rising tuition is one of the big issues. The impact of home foreclosures is a big issue. Of course, in Britain, they're taking to the streets because they cannot afford to go to college and they don't want to drop out because they can't afford it. So we can afford war, can we afford college? Yes and nay. Welcome, Reverend Jesse Jackson, 69 WVON. This is Thanksgiving Day, a day of celebration. Big day for travel and family and food and fun and football. But we're so mindful of those today who cannot have any of that because they are deprived. They are 49 million Americans today who are in poverty. We saw for a long time to give away baskets of food, particularly turkeys on this day. So many brought turkeys back. They had no stove to cook the turkeys on a refrigerator to store them in. And so we serve hot meals. I'm glad these students here today are going to help us be servants today. What else are you doing like beyond the campus?
Well, I'm a treasurer of the American Society of Civil Engineers on campus, and off campus, I'm a cheerleading coach to a neighboring school. It's called Shaw Middle School at Garnett-Patterson in Washington, D.C. And also, I feel that this is going to help me for the future because I want to start a nonprofit organization that helps young girls get better involved in engineering. And so I feel that working with these girls now is preparing me for the future later on.
And that was Kanisha Seymour from Howard University.
Yes, it
Give
was.
your name and the schools so people will listen to that. This is who you are talking about. All right.
This is Julian Cook here. Let's see. Outside of school, I serve as the youth minister here in Chicago at the True Believers Baptist Church. Not too far from here, actually. I'm also a member of the National Foundation for the Advancement of the Arts. I'm one of their young artists. And while at school, I was serving on the opera board. I was singing opera last year, and this year I'm going to be doing that again. So it's a great privilege.
So we'll hear you on the broadcast sound singing something.
Yes.
I look forward to it. Well, the point is, when young America come alive, things happen. When Rosa Parks and then Dr. King was born, he was 26-year-old grad student, and that they took up that burden. And in some sense, those who led the drive for civil rights, whether it was John Lewis and others leading the march across the bridge in Selma in 1965, those who led the anti-war movement, and those who led the drive to desegregate schools were all young people coming alive. And so your activism matters to us. What's happening on your campus?
Hi, this is Zakia from Loyola University, and on campus I'm part of the Loyola Refugee Outreach, and as part of that program we work with the refugees in the surrounding area of my university because there's a very high refugee population from Iraq, East Africa, and Nepal, majority Nepalese refugees who have just arrived in the country and are here because of the political situation in their country. It's very unstable, and so I've been working particularly very personally with one refugee family this past semester, and it's been really rewarding being able to hear their stories.
Is Haiti an issue on your campuses?
Haiti is definitely still an issue. I feel like it's kind of taking a back burner because there's been several other tragedies such as the flood in Pakistan, and so I feel like all these tragedies kind of put the past one on the back burner, even though I'm part of the African Student Alliance as well, and so that's really the focus of our organization at this moment because it is such a big issue still, and people don't realize how big of an impact.
You can't let Haiti be the end of the first hour. to be driven by what's important to the media, because after all, we're in Haiti's debt. I mean, Haiti is the creditor and we are the debtor. And the fact is, beyond the news flush after the hurricane, we've not, as a nation, adequately dealt with Haiti. There were several nations that promised to be big donors to Haiti, and including the U.S., they have not yet made the donation. And the argument is that the process would be so corrupt. Well, clean it up. In the meantime, another wind blew through Haiti, the wind of cholera, and more than 1,100 people have died, and more are dying. And Haiti is less than 100 miles from our shores. And on your campuses, you must be the vehicle. You cannot just depend upon what the network says is the issue. You must help define the issue. The networks did not define civil rights as the issue. They did not define free Mandela in apartheid South Africa as the issue. We had to assume some responsibility to make the issue the issue. You better make one.
I'm Ashley Nelson, so I attend DePaul, and I know there are a lot of organizations right now helping Haiti. I'm in the School of Public Service, and I know a few students are getting together to help rebuild art centers and extracurricular activities that the children had to look forward to before the storms and the hurricane. So I recently joined an organization that will be just sending clothes, and then a few public health students will be going over there to do case studies and assess the situation better.
Well, there are two other things you guys can consider. One of them is long distance learning. Given today's high tech and social media phenomena, students in Haiti who can't get here can in fact be learning through long distance learning. You can be the teacher. But the other thing that can happen in addition to long distance, that are those who have finished who need to come to college. So fighting for external scholarships on your campus for Haitian students would be a big deal. Because after all, right now, if you come here from Cuba, you are embraced, protected, subsidized, and sent to college. If you come here from Haiti, you're arrested or you're sent back. Even the fact that there are two sets of rules, one for Haitians, one for Cubans. Now, Cubans ought to have those rights, the Haitians should too. So you don't have to negate Cubans to affirm the Haitians, just affirm people who are desperate. Now, they use a little word trick that said those who come from Cuba are political refugees, those who come Haiti are economic refugees. And that's just talking foolishness. It's just using language manipulation to not give Haitians the rights, the human rights that they deserve. So on your campuses, once you register and vote, that's a big step. But then content, how are you guys handling the rising cost of tuition on your campuses?
My name is Aaron Saunders. I'm from Triton College. Currently, I've sit on student government, and for the last 2 years, we've been fighting to keep certain grants going, like the MAP grant as well as the Pell Grant. We organized several demonstrations in Springfield. I sat on the Illinois Community College Board, and one of the main things we've done is organizing people to understand that.
What does that board do?
ICCB, we pass a lot of legislation and articulation for community college students because that's one of the biggest things, unlike the people around me currently, congratulations on universities, but economically, community college is one of the best, most viable options in order to get an education, continue your education, or finishing a degree. A lot of us offer bachelor programs or joint master's degrees through other schools and universities on our home campus. And one of the biggest things we've made sure that people are aware of is two things. A, that economics and education still equate to good education. Although I may not pay $30,000 a year, I can definitely tell you the people I work with are definitely as competent as the professors we see from Harvard and whatnot, and we're able to keep on par. The other thing we're fighting for, we're big believers in order to help others, you have to rear and train your own. So getting people up to grasp with politics, voter registration campaigns, also articulation is one of the biggest things we're fighting right now. And that means that once we graduate with our associate's degree, or if you have an accredited certificate program, whatever school you transfer to will accept that status automatically.
Well, we should get beyond the sense of shame about community colleges. They are absolutely essential. Many students, suburban students, will go to 2 years as community college, and then 2 at the 4-year college, and they take their credits with them. A is called the 2 and 2 program. It is cheaper. Plus, many students who come out who can't afford the 4-year college, they have the brains, don't have the wherewithal. Where is to get the degree to be an associate, to be a nurse, Most, when you go to the hospital here, they get your blood drawn. It's mostly like someone came out of a city college. Embalmers, chefs, a whole range of skill sets provided at two-year colleges, not provided at four-year colleges. Many students will come out and will go to four-year college and do not have the academic capacity to cut it. They get to fall back someplace. The falling back off it is a two-year school to get their basics kind of toned down in language or in math, as the case may be. What I am most impressed about the community colleges is that you can pick up a skill set. They come out of college with a four-year degree and then have a capacity to do nothing. But I got a degree in nothingness, a degree and I can't sew, I can't cook, I can't be a plumber, I can't be a brick mason. I have a degree, but I'm dysfunctional. And so do not let anyone tell you that the two-year colleges represent somehow a reflection of your capacity. Dr. Wayne Watkins, now president of Chicago State, went to a two-year college first here in Chicago. Then only went to Northwestern, got his PhD. He's now president of Chicago State. I mean, so many students came the route of the two-year college, and many of our youth do not take advantage of those to the colleges, and but neither they have big meaning to us, and they are affordable.
They are very affordable. In fact, most community colleges across the nation, the average cost is between $2,000 to $10,000. So, parents, if you're looking for a viable way to save some money, I would definitely encourage you to have your child to go to a community college the first 2 years and then transfer over to a four-year public
Most of your
institution.
chefs downtown got their skill from community college. Chefs, nurses, associates, and then now the range of academic courses, including foreign language and liberal arts and all that. And as we talk about now, building an airport, rebuilding Chicago, those who have the skill set to become plumbers and brick masons and lathes and engineers, those of you in civil engineering, somebody has to lay the brick, right?
Yes.
And someone has to make the steel and lay the rail. And so we've been programming to look down on two-year schools, which is a terrible mistake. You just shouldn't do it because there's so much value in these schools. And I really want to thank you for being here. Reverend Justice Jackson, it's been a glorious morning here at WVON today. It's 1690. First time I was talking about jobs and job creation and registration now, closing out with students who are here from around the campus who push Excel Solace from around the country. And a little closing thought, your school.
I attend DePaul University, Master's of Public Administration student, Ashley Nelson. I'm just really thankful to be the first in my family to not only receive a bachelor's degree, but go on to receive a master's degree. And I'm thankful to be blessed to have two jobs where I know so many people can't even have one. So,
What a great breakthrough.
Jasmine Winston, junior in civil engineering at Urbana-Champaign, or University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. Expected to be graduating hopefully May 2012. And just thankful to have my family and thankful to have this education, especially going to a number one ranked school for civil engineering. It's a great opportunity, definitely as an African American woman. So, just going strong.
This is Zakia Latif. I am a graduating senior at Loyola University, and I'm going on to apply to naturopathy school as well as several nutrition programs, as well as Peace Corps. And just being able to be one of the few minority students at Loyola, such a small population, and being able to being given this opportunity because of the first scholarship has really made me appreciative of the opportunities I've been given.
Music man.
Julian Cook, double majoring in music and Bible. Following college, I'm looking forward to going to seminary. I haven't quite decided which seminary I want to go to yet. Possibly performance school as well. So looking forward to that. I'm thankful this morning, especially for Push, just because of the hope that it brings to many students and the self-empowerment that it brings to so many people around the world.
You gonna sing something for us on the broadcast Saturday?
I wouldn't mind, actually. I'm here till Sunday. So.
That's a deal?
That's a deal.
You got it.
Hello, I'm Kenesha Seymour. I'm a junior civil engineering major from Howard. I'm a Motorola Scholar, and I plan to graduate in May 2012. I'm on track for graduating on time, and I plan to get a PhD and a certification as a professional engineer.
Aaron Saunders from Triton College, dual major in marketing as well as theater, looking to graduate with 2 associate's degrees this spring. I look forward to continuing my education with my bachelorette. I'm also looking forward to opening my own theater company in about 3 years to bring
Inspired by your dad, Steve.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sierra Wallace, graduating senior, lead communications major from Howard University. After Howard, I plan to attend law school. And I just want to encourage everyone to remember those that paved the way for our generation and to always give back and provide opportunities for others as well. That way, the next generation can also excel. We owe it to ourselves and our community. Thank you.
Carl, where did you get your PhD?
I attended the University of Illinois in Champaign, Urbana. That's where I earned my bachelor's in speech communications. And then I earned my master's in industrial and labor relations at the University of Massachusetts at Amherst. And a professor saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And he told me that I should pursue my doctorate in education. And so I earned my doctorate at the University of Massachusetts at Amherst. And now I'm at Push. And I am grateful to Reverend Jackson for the opportunity to work with young people, to encourage and inspire young people across the nation. Over the past 6 years, we have awarded over $3 million to deserving students across this nation. And so I'm thankful that we're able to touch the lives of a Sierra who comes from the projects and now is going to law school. That's what I'm grateful for.
So our chair, Greg Mathis, we met Greg Mathis in jail. He was not there visiting, he was there as a resident. He had gone astray and got caught up in the streets of Detroit. And you heard our appeal to not stay in but work your way out. He got out, never got his degree, high school, only got his GED, Greg Mathis. And then he got his BS degree, he married a sophomore in college, and got ready to go to law school. He passed the exam. He couldn't go to law school because he couldn't practice. He had been a felon. We won the case that he might be free to become a judge. So now his journey is from jail to judgeship, because somewhere along the way he got touched, heard the voice, felt the touch, and made something happen. And so one of the great stories of Christmas is not about Santa Claus, is that though you may be born in the slum as Jesus was, it doesn't mean the slum is born in you. You can go from the depths of the slum to the high heights of being King of Kings. And that is within us, that possibility to be servants of the people. That is our reason for going to school, that we might learn and teach, we might share and grow. And today we must work together to break the cycle of pain that so many of us suffer today. That's why we're serving food today. And I'm glad you care enough to use some of your day to serve some people some food and to meet them and touch them. But for the grace of God, go I. The thing that's so striking now, you may see people that dress today just as you are dressed. They've not been homeless long. They had a job last year. They owned a home 6 months ago. And now they are painfully trapped in unemployment cycles. And so you could go there too. But we intend to build a safety net so it won't happen. But we need your help. And so I want you to register to vote. I want you to use these moments not to self-destruct, not to self-degrade, to develop a fervent love for your God and for your fellow man, and make your parents proud of you. I want to thank you for coming today and for receiving the scholarships and for making us feel proud, because when you do well, you make all of us feel better about ourselves. So do it all. We fall down sometime, we get up again. Nothing is too hard for God. Keep up alive. Love you guys. See you at Push at 10:30 today. 10:30? Yeah. 10:30? God bless you. Love you, WVON.
And we are back, and we certainly do appreciate the work of Reverend Jesse Jackson, and we appreciate all of those students who participated in that 2010 interview on Thanksgiving Day. We appreciate the fact that they shared their vision for what they intended to accomplish, and how the Push Excel program inspired them and supported them in their journey as they matriculated through school, and ultimately earned their degrees. Now, you're going to hear more from many of those who did, in fact, complete their education and go on to become successful professionals as they continue to give back to the organization and the individuals who made it possible. Now, of course, for those who don't know, one of those students was my daughter. And certainly her success has been phenomenal. And as have all of those students, have achieved not only phenomenal success, but also continue to affect lives. So you're going to hear more from many of those who are part of the Push Excel program. We're going to take a break and come back and talk more about some of the reflections of those who were touched by the life and the work of Reverend Jesse Jackson. Of course, this interview, held in 2010 on WVON, can be seen on the On Air TV network, which is part of the On Air Global Media Network, of which the On Air Daily News is a part. And we had an opportunity to cover much of the activities here in Chicago as those who were touched by the life of Reverend Jackson came to pay tribute at his recent lying in state at the Rainbow Push National Headquarters. So we'll be back with more after this brief message, and we invite you to stick and stay, don't stray away, and feel free to leave your comments as well as to call in on our radio line 727-731-5192, because we always want to hear from you. So we will be right back after this quick break. So stay with us. And we are back. And for those who have perhaps not been alive during much of the historic events, this period has been a chance to learn some of the history, and especially if you have not had parents who spoke politics in your home. Perhaps they were not politically active, perhaps they were not focused on the activism, the individuals involved in making things happen. Perhaps they missed that whole civil rights era involvement. Maybe that wasn't their thing. They could have been doing something else. So maybe that history didn't get translated to the discussions that you may have had in your home. And that makes a difference. What do you talk about in your house? What do you say to your children when news stories come on? What do you share with them about your experiences? That definitely makes a difference. And for some people, they don't talk to their children. They don't have conversations. They don't shape their thought. They don't engage them, so they don't instill in them a sense of purpose to make the changes that the society needs. It's not enough to just look at the news and say, oh, that's a shame. No, we really need to go about the process of inspiring them to see themselves as people who are here to make a difference. And if you are not instilling that in your child, then where will they get the understanding of why they should do what they do? And if you don't instill in your child the understanding that it's their responsibility to change the world from the way it is to the way it should be, then they tend to be aimless and purposeless. So one good thing about this interview is that these students around Reverend Jackson had a sense of purpose. They were given a sense of purpose because they're with someone who was making things happen every day, and it mattered. So naturally, if you are instilling in your children, they have a reason, they have a purpose, they have a responsibility. If you're instilling that in them, then they're going to see life differently, and they're going to make choices that will have a positive impact on the society in which they live. So if you have done your job as a parent, and if you have instilled in them the intention to get involved, and you heard what some of these students were saying, the kinds of work that they intended to do, the kinds of industries they intended to get involved in, the places they intended to go, and some of their aspirations in terms of the work that they wanted to do, and their continued involvement. And that day they did go and help serve the homeless at Rainbow Push. Giving your children an understanding of what they have been given and a gratitude for what they have that others may not have, that is character building. And so it was good that these young people expressed gratitude for what they had as they prepared to go, as Reverend Jackson said, and serve people who didn't have a home and couldn't, even though Push gave out free turkeys each year, they had no place to cook them. They had no place to store them. They had no place to go. People who were living in the streets. So in a real sense, they could understand the power of what they had been given and the privilege that they had received by being a part of the Push Excel program and being able to go to college and set their sights on a career. So we have to instill in our young people a sense of purpose. Going to school to simply get a job is not a life purpose. You can earn money doing anything, but what are you doing with your life that makes a difference, that changes the society, that helps those who are less fortunate? So you heard some of those things in the things that those students were saying. Well, there were many who wanted to pay tribute to Reverend Jackson and his work, many who were inspired and shared their feelings as they came and were a part of the many crowds of people for 2 days in Chicago that came to pay tribute as Reverend Jackson was lying in state at the Rainbow Push headquarters. And so We, of course, were there with on air daily news and had a chance to talk to some of the people who shared their thoughts with us. Hi, I'm Naima Latif with On Air Daily News, and we are here at the national headquarters of the Rainbow Push Coalition, where crowds have gathered to pay their respects to Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr.
My name is Don Kelly. I'm a photographer, media consultant. I belong to CAP, the Chicago Alliance of American Photographers, Afro-American Photographers, also the Washington Park Camera Club. I'm here to represent all those who couldn't make it, to be here as part of Jesse Jackson's legacy. He's gone but not forgotten. He's a man of the people, a voice of the people. And I'm glad to be here. I've followed him since the 80s, in a lot of his events. Didn't know him personally, but he recognized me as I recognized him. I got to know his family quite well. I'm here to pay my final tribute here with a friend of mine, Mel, from Ethiopia. I met him the other day, and now we're joining together to work on community projects. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Also, that we're here to honor our brother Jesse Jackson, who had done a lot of work for Ethiopia. He helped us with the dam that's being constructed, as our Egyptian friends were getting a little nervous about the amount of water they were getting. Jesse, being the kind person that he is, he was able to calm a lot of people down. I don't know if the Egyptians are calm yet, but I hope one day they'll get better. As far as Jesse Jackson goes, he's the man of the people. He worked hard. Prince Sultan of Afar, who lives here in Chicago. They work together, and I'm happy to represent the family, the Ali Mira family, and just say goodbye to our friend, Jesse Jackson. Jesse, we love you. You're not going anywhere.
My name is Dacia Dixon. I'm a resident of the neighborhood. I'm a member of Rainbow Push. My kids grew up in Push Excel. They were Jesse Jackson Fellows. So I'm feeling real bittersweet right now. You know, it's a great and a proud moment in history, but it's also very sad because we've lost an icon. And I think one of the things that made Reverend Jackson so special was that he was able to make that human connection. You know, as a conglomerate that he was in the world, he was always still in touch, you know, with the common person. And it's a sad time, but it's also a great time. He fought for the civil rights. Not just blacks, but everyone. That's why he changed the name to Rainbow Push. And I'm just in my feelings right now.
I understand.
Just to know all the sacrifices that he made, as well as his family, for us to be at this moment, and to know that this administration is trying to tear down everything that people like Jesse Jackson, John Lewis, Dr. King, Malcolm X, Al Sharpton, you know, has built. And we just have to find a way to continue this legacy as a people.
Anastasia Regoli, Epic Academy. We brought, 60 students today? About 60 students to come see the pillar of our civil rights movement. And just to be a part of history when there's so much going on in the country that's trying to erase it.
The guy that I bought this from, I'll buy you a poster. I'm going to get them.
Yeah, we're just trying to, keep our students aware of, where where they come where they come from, and understand that we have to remember the past or else we'll repeat it.
Wonderful. Will you have a lesson at school about this afterwards?
Probably, yeah. I teach Spanish and English, so we'll probably have a lesson in English class about Jesse Jackson. I'm gonna hang this up in my classroom.
All right, fantastic.
And this is, I think, a good example of how educators can use this moment to teach. I'm very grateful that this particular teacher took her students to the viewing and even bought the poster that a young man was selling of many of the images. But this is history as we're living it, and our students have to connect what happened in the past to what's happening now, to their responsibility to shape the future. And they have to feel empowered to shape the future, not see themselves as helpless victims, but see themselves as victors, as winners in this decision to take our world in a higher direction. They have the power to enter areas where they're either serving in government, in corporate industry, in the private sector, in organizations that are creating systems that help and not harm. They have the power to do that. And so we're grateful for all of the opportunities to record the history. And we've got some comments here. Reggio 17G says, safe in God's armor. Yes, he is. And yes, they are, all of those students. And Zelda, our dear sister, says, Grand Rising Queen, teacher, because of the female solution, we remember. Thank you for caring and sharing. Yes, that's our job, to make sure that we provide a platform to inspire and to give a voice to those who have a message. And this has been a monumental time for reflection. And we always want to include those who are doing the work. And of course, we know our sister Zelda is doing the work in feeding the homeless and reaching out to those in need. And of course, you can go to the Higher Learning Network TV channel and see her work and watch her every Monday on Monday Morning Mindfulness here on the Female Solution and the Higher Learning Network. It's about doing the work. And On Air Daily News, you can go to onair.dailynews.com, gives you the news about people who are making a difference. And we have certainly had a chance to keep the history as our photographer and publisher of On Air Daily News in this interview with WVON explained the work he did with Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Things here in Chicago and different states that I run around with. Drove around in a car, done the Chuck's Gun Shop, which was really intense. In Riverdale, yeah. I did NATO when NATO was in Chicago with him. Football, basketball games. Got him going out the first pitch at Wrigley Field. So that's kind of historical. And I went to jail because of Reverend Jackson. Really? Tell us about that. Okay, so Ernie Banks had passed away. And when Ernie Banks passed away, I was in the top area taking photos with my long range camera. So I got this photo of Reverend Jackson looking at Ernie Banks, so they look like they're looking at each other. And the coffin is right there. So I come down, I start hanging Reverend Jackson. So we go to the back. And that's actually where Ernie Banks really was. So Reverend Jackson standing over Ernie Banks, looking at him like this here, and then all of a sudden he said, "Take this picture." So I took this picture, and next thing you know, here come the police, security for the day.
Yeah.
And then Reverend Jackson said, "If you take him to jail, you gotta take me to jail." You don't want to do it. And so they told me, uh, keep the photos, but don't share them. So that's the only set of photos I have not shared with nobody, because I promised the Banks family that I would not share the photo with nobody.
Wow, that's amazing.
And I still have it.
I think about how being a photographer, you see things a certain kind of way, and it is your job to convey what you see and what you're experiencing, what's going on, and convey it in the photo so that it can be forever remembered and viewed. How does it look when you have a situation where you're just so emotionally connected, and you still have to get the shot?
Okay, let me give you two, three. They're gonna be real quick. So my first one is with Cicely Tyson. I don't want to tell the story of the person that's here, but she told this person, "You are not my photographer. He's my photographer," which was me. Now you talking about Cicely Tyson. Tears running down my eyes because Miss Cicely Tyson said this. So I go in the back. Now I'm taking another set of photos, and Hillary Clinton calls me up to take a photo with her. So I'm taking a photo of her, touching her, hugging her. I said, I gotta have this photo, but I gotta have Reverend Jackson in this photo. So then Reverend Jackson had the photo. And then the last one was Joe Biden came to one of our conferences, and it's only me, Joe Biden, and Reverend Jackson.
You making all this up?
No.
I know.
And my fourth one, to bring this up, so I was at the King Breakfast with Mayor Brandon Johnson. I was the photographer. And so I had told Camilla, well, matter of fact, I didn't even know she was there. I wonder why all the Secret Service people was there, because I knew all of them.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden she comes out, and I'm like, she's here.
Your jaw dropped.
Yeah, she's here. So when I finally get up there and I got through talking to everybody else, they called me up, you gotta take a picture with my parents. So I'm talking to her, and I'm like this, I got my hand on her shoulder, I'm talking to her, and she remembered me interviewing her almost 12 years ago in Washington, D.C. on my partner night with the was there. And so I had told her, you can run for president, but you can't run while Barack is running, but you'll be vice president in 8 years to 12 years. And it happened. So
you just go around manifesting stuff.
So I get there with her, and we standing outside, we standing out there and we talking, and she, it's you, it was you, it was you, it was you, it was you. And so she grabbed my hand, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I'm 68 and I cried like a 2-year-old baby.
Oh,
and the room was full of people because that was a moment of sincerity, And it's not just Reverend Jackson and there, I have the Bellwood Police Department, the Bellwood Fire Department.
Oh, 100?
Yeah, I'm his personal shopper now.
Okay, all right. I'm from Bellwood.
Yeah, I sure did.
Yeah, I'm from Bellwood.
Yeah, okay, so if you look up there, your board meeting, the Taste of Bellwood, all the photos, that's me. The radio, Christmas lights show photos, that's all me. So, nice. But I don't really brag on it. I think the thing about it, because Donna knows me pretty well, it's she get a photo from me. I'm gonna talk about her too. I had this one photo and I was like this. It was crazy looking photo. I didn't know how to edit it. And she edited the photo, and I've been using that photo since she done it. It was like about 12 years ago. 12 years ago. So,
time for a new shoot.
It is. And this morning I actually had some 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th graders. And I was talking to them about photography, and I showed them photos of Obama. When I went there and did the Cubs when they won the World Series, I went up there and I did 3 Stanley Cups. I went up there when the Cubs won. Bears playoff. President Obama was putting the Medal of Honor or something on the person. And then the entire Cubs team took a photo. But the funny part about that was, my friend told me, because I couldn't go on the field of Wrigley Field that day to get those photos, he said access. So now I'm in the White House. And he couldn't go where I go. And I said, Steve, access. And we both started laughing because it was a personal joke.
Yeah.
Wow, that was, thank you so much for sharing, your experience in say the word chronicling. Thank you. Of Reverend Jesse Jackson's journey from the time that you met him until now.
Yeah.
That's historic. I want to thank you for coming on.
And thank you for that, because all these photos I'm seeing right now on TV and radio, and the Bear Bulls game last night, you can look up at it in awe and say, "Wow, I did this."
Yeah.
If you go in the Winning City Bulls stadium and you look around the stadium and upstairs, all those photos are my photos for that team as well. So God will give you your story if you know where you want to go.
We're going to put you in the Hall of Fame. Watch out. All right, guys, we're going to go. That's it for photographer John Alexander. We're going to go to news, traffic, and weather right here on the afternoon show.
Yes, there we are with On Air Daily News, part of the On Air Global Media Network. And we are certainly grateful to have been given a front row seat in history and working with Reverend Jackson. And, as he mentioned, we were, in fact, in DC with Kamala Harris and told her she was going to be, at some point, a candidate for president, and she did in fact remember. So we have had a chance to, as working with Reverend Jackson, had a chance to capture history in a way that is memorable. And so we're grateful, and we look forward to others who are also doing work to capture history. You can go to onair.dailynews.com. Get a subscription so you get it every day. It's On Air Daily News. And here we are. As he said, there with Kamala Harris and, the mayor and his wife. And we have had a tremendous experience with so many who are making history, so many of our elected officials, people who are changing lives, and of course, all of us who are doing the creative work. You can see right there the Black History Book Fair, sponsored by our own Asada, who you can see now on Asada Says every Tuesday here on the Female Solution Tuesday morning. And our own Chinta, who you can see here on Chinta, On the Case with Chinta Strasberg every Friday evening, 7 p.m. on the Female Solution. People who are making a difference in the world and inspiring others. So you can go to onair.dailynews.com. And I love the way photos now come to life with digital publications. So you see not only stills, but you can hear people speak as you watch the videos implanted on our daily news site. So we're grateful. Well, it's a bit time after we've got to go, but we wanted to share with you our experiences and those who remember, just go to onair.dailynews.com and you can experience life close up and personal. And you can be a part this new society that we're creating every day. Thank you for joining us. And before we go, we already past that time, but I just want to share comments with those who have chimed in. And Cinnabella, who you can hear and see every Friday morning on Coffee Break with Cinnabella. So sip your coffee and listen to our songbird Cinnabella, and she says, balance in the process of awareness as we all wake up. Present day history and bridging gaps. Bravo. Yes. This is present day history. And she says, this is how we remain inspired to serve, build, and care for our communities. Absolutely. And she said, pictorial history. That's right. That's what we have. So go to onair.dailynews.com and you can see history and picture and videos, and the people can talk back to you as you read the stories, and we just love it. Love being part of the Global Media Network. And of course, the On Air Global Media Network. On Air stands for Online Network of Associated Internet Radio and TV hosts. And we'll tell you more about that as we expand for those many podcasters from around the world who are choosing to use the internet to inspire and empower and inform and enlighten. We'll talk about that next week. But for now, we wish to say farewell to all of you who watch us every day. We're on 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Central Time, and Saturdays and Sundays, 12 noon Central Time. And you can go to thefemalesolution.com and see our team of hosts and all the exciting work we do. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, and we will see you tomorrow. Make sure you join us for Master Force with Mu Shensu. And tune on in again in 7 p.m. as our dear host Bridget introduces us to nonprofits empowering worlds. I'm so grateful for the brilliant minds that share their wisdom every day on the Female Solution. So until I see you next time, continue to shine your light. We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, zhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, Ngiyabonga. Senegal, Jareh. Kenya, Asante. Israel, Toda. Pakistan, Shukriya. Afghanistan, Tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.